I think everybody with football knowledge knows the name Ajax, and especially that one Champions League season a couple of years ago. But how did they get this far? Was it just luck or a new era for Ajax in Europe? We're going to take a look back at what happened to Ajax after that season. First, let's take a look at mastermind Erik Ten Hag. Ten Hag signed a contract for 2.5 seasons with Ajax on December 28, 2017, which was extended in June 2019 and in April 2021 until finally 2023, but was appointed manager of Manchester United in May 2022. In the beginning, he received a lot of criticism from the Ajax supporters because he came from a middle team from the Eredivisie called FC Utrecht, and he was unknown. Ten Hag made his debut as coach of Ajax on January 21, 2018, with a 2-0 win over Feyenoord. He was the first trainer to make his debut in De Klassieker and win right away. And with that, he immediately labelled himself with the Ajax fans. But it was not only Ten Hag who had a share in the success. Edwin van der Sar, the former goalkeeper of Ajax, is now general manager of Ajax and had an important role, including the lead of Ajax's management. And the last of the successful triangle, Mark Overmars. He was a financial director and responsible for all transfers, which were pretty good overall. So, these three important figures at Ajax played an important role in the success. Ten Hag likes to play offensively dominant football with as much possession as possible. And because of that style of play, and in combination with the right players, they outplayed everyone in that season. Group stage, Bayern Munich 2 draws. Last 8, Real Madrid 5-3 overall. Quarter-finals, Juventus 3-2 overall. And almost Tottenham in the semi-finals with 3-3 loss because of the home-away rule that time. But what happened after that season? In the season 1920, they started the season well with a win in the Johan Cruyff Cup against PSV by a score of 2-0. They lost a few key players, including Frankie de Jong to Barcelona for an estimate of 75 million. Matthijs de Ligt to Juventus for also an estimate of 75 million euros. And also a key player of the previous season, Lasse Schöne to Genoa for an estimate of 1.5 million, and therefore made a net profit of 145 million euros. So then the big question is, who got Ajax back for it? A couple of key transfers are Lisandro Martinez from Defensa y Justicia for 7 million, Edson Alvarez from Club America for 15 million, and Quincy Promes from Sevilla for almost 16 million. So they didn't really buy big players back. Ten Hag mainly wanted to continue with the remaining base team from last season. In this season, Ajax did not progress beyond the group stage and finished third with opponents as Chelsea Valencia and Lille OSC. This was a big disappointment because there were big expectations from last season, but got a second chance in the Europa League in the last 16. In this round, Ajax lost after 2 matches with an aggregate score of 3-2 against Getafe, and with that, the European dream exploded again. But with 8 matches left on the programme, the Dutch Football Association, KNVB, decided to stop the season due to a virus outbreak, and no champion was announced, only a number 1, 2, 3, and the rest of the competition. When this happened, Ajax was number 1, so a Champions League spot was certain. Ajax could try to make a name for itself in the CL again. In the summer transfer window for the 2021 season, Ajax lost a lot of key players who had an important part in the magical season, including Hakim Ziyech to Chelsea FC for an estimate of 40 million, Donny van de Beek to Manchester United FC for an estimated 39 million, Joel Veltman to Brighton and Hove Albion for an estimate of 1 million euros, and other players like Sergiño Dest to Barcelona for an estimate of 21 million. We start the 2021 season without an edition of the Johan Cruyff Cup due to the virus pandemic, and with several new signings for the club, Sebastian Haller, who was bought in the winter from West Ham FC for an estimate of 22.5 million, Anthony from Sao Paulo FC for an estimate of 16 million, Davy Klaassen from Werder Bremen for an estimate of 11 million. Mohamed Kudus from FC Nordsjælland for an estimate of 9 million, and players who had no or no major role in the club. Facing Liverpool, Atlanta and FC Midtjylland in the group stage of the Champions League, it didn't go very well. Ajax finished third in the group and were transferred to the final 16th of the Europa League. They faced Lille OSC and won both home and away with an aggregate score of 4-2, resulting in a spot to the 8th final. In the 8th final, Ajax faced BSC Young Boys and won easily with an aggregate score of 5-0. Ajax were stopped in the quarterfinals by AS Roma with an aggregate score of 2-3 and again no success in Europe. Ajax won the competition with a lead of 16 points over PSV and were ready for the cup final against Vitesse. They won with a total of 2-1 and Ten Hag's Ajax won the double that season, but still no glory in Europe. Can it be next season? There were no major incoming outgoing transfers for this season. Only one transfer caused a lot of commotion in the Netherlands, Steven Berghuis from the biggest rival Feyenoord for a fee of 5.5 million. Ajax started the season 21-22 with a loss in the Johan Cruyff Cup against PSV with an embarrassing 4-0 score. Ajax recovered quite well, and with the last season of Ten Hag, Ajax won all group stage matches with only 5 goals against, which made Ajax the first Dutch team to win all 6 matches. Since the magical season of 18-19, they go to the next round in the UEFA Champions League. Can it finally happen? But just when things are going well, bad news comes. Mark Overmars, financial director and mastermind of the transfers, was fired on February 6, 2022 by Ajax for sending explicit photos of himself to female members within the club. And he joined the Belgian club Royal Antwerp on March 22, 2022. And with that, he was the first of the successful triangle of Ajax to leave. After this event, Ajax played the first leg of the 8th final and drew in Portugal against Benfica with an aggregate score of 2-2. There was great hope that Ajax would win at home in Amsterdam, but eventually lost 0-1. There was great disappointment because everyone believed after the success in the group stage that something was coming, but it remained with hope again. Ajax won that season with 2 points more than PSV and got ready for the cup final against PSV, but eventually lost 2-1, so only one trophy was won that season, the Eredivisie title. The mastermind, Erik ten Hag, decided to leave Ajax after 4 years and was appointed coach of Manchester United on May 22, 2022. With 4 years of Ajax, Ten Hag won 3 times the Eredivisie, 2 times the KNVB Cup and 1 time the Johan Cruyff Cup, and 3 times in his entire career in the Eredivisie, the Rinus Michels Award for Trainer of the Season. But Erik ten Hag did not leave for Manchester United alone and took Lisandro Martinez with him for an amount of 57 million and Antony for almost 100 million. But those weren't the only players who left. Key players from the 18-19 season who also left: Nicolas Tagliafico to Olympique Lyonnais for a fee of 4.2 million, Andre Onana to International transfer free, and Noussair Mazraoui to FC Bayern Munich transfer free. Other players that left also are Ryan Gravenberch to FC Bayern Munich for a fee of 18.5 million, Sebastian Haller to Borussia Dortmund for a fee of 31 million. With some key players leaving, new players have also been bought, including Steven Bergwijn from Tottenham Hotspur for a fee of 31 million, Owen Wijndal from AZ for a fee of 10 million, Calvin Bassey from Rangers FC for a fee of 23 million, Geronimo Rulli from Villarreal CF later that season for a fee of 8 million, Francisco Conceição from FC Porto for a fee of 5 million, Jorge Sanchez from Club America for a fee of 5 million, and Brian Brobby returned from RB Leipzig for a fee of 16 million. Erik ten Hag's successor for the 22-23 season was Alfred Schreuder and started his adventure at Ajax on June 22, 2022. Alfred Schreuder wanted to keep the same team as last season in combination with the new signings as much as possible, but the management of Ajax could not turn down an offer of almost 100 million for Antony and sold him. Antony didn't show up for training as resistance from the trainer who wanted to keep him. There was also interest from the Premier League for Edwin Alvarez and Mohamed Kudus. Kudus wanted to make a move to Everton and missed training out of resistance. This behaviour is adopted from Antony, but Ajax ignored it and declined the offer. The same for Edwin Alvarez, who wanted to make a move to Chelsea FC, and he also missed a training session that he previously saw from teammate Kudus and former teammate Antony. Ajax ignored it again and wanted to keep as many players as possible, which they succeeded. But due to this behaviour, Kudus and Alvarez got a lot of criticism from the Ajax fans because they think you should be proud to wear the Ajax shirt. Schreuder didn't start well and lost his first match in the Johan Cruyff Cup against PSV with a score of 3-5, and with that the first prize of the season was lost. Ajax recovered well and won the first 6 competition matches. But in the Champions League, Ajax had no chance against Liverpool and Napoli, who played well and only won 2 times against Rangers FC. Ajax finished 3rd in the group, but they got a second chance at European success in the Europa League and had to play against FC Union Berlin. They were in the top 3 of the Bundesliga. Alfred Schreuder was not well in the group of players, and after an argument with Daily Blind, he left immediately for FC Bayern Munich. After Schreuder, Ajax lost against PSV on November 6, 2022. Things went quite wrong. Ajax won 1 match out of 7 and drew 6 against mediocre teams. This was the breaking point for Ajax, and Alfred Schreuder was fired after the draw against FC Volendam on January 26, 2022 by the management because of the lack of results. Youth coach Johnny Heitinga was appointed as coach for the rest of the season. Heitinga managed to win the first 4 matches, including an important one against FC Twente. Then, Heitinga lost with an aggregate score of 3-1 against Union Berlin, and the European dream did not come true for the 4th time in a row and were kicked out of the Europe League. Heitinga managed to win matches but lost the bigger games against teams like Feyenoord, PSV, AZ and FC Twente. He barely managed to finish 3rd, which is a poor performance for Ajax. They did not win any prizes this season, so a lot has to be changed. May 31, 2023, Edwin van der Sar announces that he will step down from his position as general manager following the dramatic season. And with that, the successful triangle of 4 years ago, Erik Ten Hag, Mark Overmars and Edwin van der Sar, responsible for many successes, is officially gone. Is it time for a new era? The German Sven Mislintat will take office as the new Director of Football Affairs and immediately emphasises his plans with Ajax to be and remain the best in the Netherlands and a comeback European. Maurice Steijn will be the new trainer for the next season and is already being compared to Erik Ten Hag, who also came from a mediocre team. Maurice Steijn comes over from Sparta Rotterdam, and Ajax immediately buys the players Branko van den Boomen from Toulouse transfer free. He finished in the top 10 for most assists in Ligue 1. And talent Benjamin Tahirovic from AS Roma for a fee of 7.5 million, who made his debut under the legend Jose Mourinho. And likely more players to come. Jurien Timber is on his way to Arsenal for an amount of 40 million, and Edson Alvarez to Dortmund for the same amount. Dusan Tadic, the captain of Ajax, is the only one left, including players and staff, who is still at Ajax from the 18-19 season. Can the new, fresh, unknown trainer, Maurice Steijn, make a name for himself again with Ajax in Europe and make a comeback? Or was the 18-19 season just a one-season wonder? Let me know in the comments. If you liked this video, a like and subscribe would help me a lot. Until the next.